It's a new day, and our peacocks sneak in for an early morning snack as day 2 begins on clearing land for a food plot. Today's video will wrap up this section of land being completely cleared and raked flat. To keep to the timeline Kellenberger Excavating was hoping to keep for themselves, Don decided to call in the assistance of his buddy Russo to work his skid loader with a root rake grapple attachment. This was definitely the right call because although we weren't in any rush to get this project done, the skid loader saved them a ton of time with debris removal. As usual, sit back and relax as Kellenberger Excavating does their thing. so cooperative.
Not quite as good as it sounds.
Yeah, it's just that vine that's stuck to it. Get at it.
Could use that to build a raft.
Yeah. Whoa, there it goes. Ooh-wee. Sorry, Pine, you didn't survive. And you saved the pine. Wow.
Yeah. Gingerly get down. Damn good. Pretty damn good.
So let's take a minute to talk about the hole. When we set out to get quotes for this project, it seemed clear that several of the contractors didn't quite understand that we had a place for all the debris. Basically, on the corner of our property, we have this cliff that goes way down into a gully that's just useless land to us. Everyone wanted to bring in all sorts of equipment to chip everything up or haul stumps away, but Don comprehended that we just wanted him to throw all the junk off the cliff. And boy oh boy did he. Here are some of the highlights of him making our debris disappear.
Oh, took it out. Strike.
You may notice there are two piles of logs building up that isn't premium stuff. I asked Don to set the decent stuff that wasn't sellable aside for me because I do like woodworking and may do something with it eventually. It wasn't any more work to make these piles, so either I'll get around to it someday or it'll just make its way to the hole. If anyone has some advice on what to do with these logs, please do let me know.
Timber! Woohoo, baby! Reefer! Goodbye, tree. There's one more up here.
The last tree we had to cut down was outside our area to be cleared. It was a beautiful walnut tree, but it had a rotten spot forming at the base, and now that all these trees were gone behind it, a strong wind could easily come by eventually and very likely bring this thing down, and possibly hit our house one day. Ironically, we ignored a few other trees on this side, and not long after this project was finished, one blew down and nearly knocked out our power. In a future video, we'll be remediating that.
Oh, what is nice.
That's a beauty there.
Oh, that's going to be really good. Ooh,
That's nice. I like that.
I like that a lot.
I'll get you that one. That's what we want. That's what we want. Not quite straight. I don't know if it's in the air.
Now that all the trees are down, there's nothing left to do but clean up. Don and Russo got to work clearing out the remaining debris and raking the ground out as best as they could. Eventually, it was time to deal with the walnut stumps left over from hand felling them. And it didn't take long for Don to decide he just needed to bring over his bucket to dig these out. The next morning, Russo brought over the bucket, and they tried to use this new strap specifically purchased for lifting the bucket off a trailer. It was a fail. Fortunately, it only dented the trailer wheel well a little bit and didn't fall straight on it. I think Don will be sticking to the tried and true chain method going forward. But it's a good thing they brought the bucket over because it definitely was the right tool for the job. Oh yeah. Well, he didn't even touch this one. No. Yeah, it's double. Yeah. Come on. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. That's a man who trusts his machine. Oh my God. He's just on a pile of shit. It's working along. A brave soul. Wow. I would definitely not be brave enough to do that. Now that the stumps are out, Russo can finish raking the ground. My dad and I came through with loppers and the tractor and cut out what roots we could that were sticking out of the ground and pulled a few stones up too. This made it easier for Russo to get the ground ready for my dad's York rake, which he wasted no time in beginning use of. This land is all being cleared to put in a food plot right now, so we just needed to be good enough for that. Kallenberger Excavating did one hell of a job for us, so as they wrapped up, I spent a few hours chasing an electrical fault on a temporary repair Don did on his excavator when he had to replace a broken connector. It was annoying because basically he kept losing one function of his grapple, and it seemingly changed at random. I literally dropped out of college once because I hate electrical engineering, but here I was using my electrical knowledge as a mechanical engineer. We eventually got everything working though, and this plot of land is complete. There is one more video that'll cover the other plot of land that Kallenberger Excavating cleared for us. It's a much easier spot, but it'll show off Don's method of crossing an asphalt road with his 70,000 pound behemoth, as well as some skillful excavator control as he dealt with the loss of functionality of his grapple at the very end of this project. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.